Hello, today we are here with a French musician that is very, very famous called Dombrance. So,
Hola.
hello.
Hello, hola.
I don't say welcome to Mexico because you've been here for many, many, many times.
Yeah.
You've been touring here in Mexico, isn't it?
Yes, I try to come like twice a year.
Twice a year.
Yeah, or maybe more. I love Mexico, so every time they say you want to come to play, I come.
Okay. So who is Dombrance?
Dombrance is it's me. I mean, it's like it's the story of the name is my name is Bertrand Lacombe,
Okay.
and the anagram is when you switch the letters, you know, it's Albert Dombrance. So I kept Dombrance as a name, and I like it because it doesn't exist. There is only one Dombrance. It's me.
So, how long have you been presenting as Dombrance?
It's a very very long story. I start using this name like 20 years ago, but after the first album, finally I was too young to. I don't know. I felt like I need to explore more things, and I've been in a lot of bands during years. And 6 or 7 years ago, I restarted being on my own. Also because I felt I was ready to do like a solo act as an electronic artist. With all the experience I had, and I start to be alone on stage and with my keyboards and everything. Because before I used to be with bands playing guitar, bass, singing, and finally I said no, I want to just to make people dance and create a funny character and also visuals and a universe around all of this and have fun. And since then I'm very happy.
So you're also creating a character with the suit and the mustache and everything. What does that mean?
I mean, it was first of all, it was about having fun, because I love, for me, life and music is. I love the party time thing, you know, and I like the way of. When I arrive on stage, the people are a bit what's going on? Who is this guy with his suit and everything? So there is already something, you already create something strange with the audience.
Right.
And there is already, they get it's not serious in one hand, and on the other hand, the music is very serious.
Right.
As like, I don't know what I'm doing. So it's the mix of all of that. For me, it's fun. And the story is, when I started thinking about my character, I was thinking about my dad, because my dad has got a big moustache too, doing all his life.
Right.
And I was used to see my dad go to work with his suit and his big moustache.
Really?
So I say, and the thing is, he had a big moustache, glasses, the costume, and for me it was really easy to draw him, you know, like I could draw him like tak. And I say, okay, so maybe because I was looking at something very simple to recognize, I say, okay, I'm going to do that. So, but now it's funny because I want to have fun also with the costume, so I'm changing costume, new colors, so the more and more crazy about the costume and changing little things about the character, but keeping the same character. Keeping the moustache, my wife, she's not very happy about my moustache, but when I started the project 6 years ago, she said, what are you doing with the moustache? How long are you going to keep it? And I say, 6 months or something.
6 months?
It's been 6 years. Yeah, 6 years.
6 years?
Yes, she used to it now.
Oh, it looks very nice. I mean, measured, received, because the first time we saw you, we go like, what's going on? Who is him? Why he's dressing like that?
Yeah.
But the music that you play is amazing. So, when you start with the music, how do you start to
I start when I was 6 or 7 years old. I started playing cello. So I went to music schools between 7 years and classical music. Playing cello. I was really into Jean-Sébastien Bach. And I think Bach is kind of my main. For me, is there. Like is the master of everything.
Is it?
And kind of in my music, you can. I mean, I'm not going to say there is Bach music, but in the synthesizer and how you play with arpeggios and these kind of things, there's always something about Bach somehow, because it was like I'm using monophonic synthesizer,
right,
and it's a bit like a cello, so you can't do chords, you just one note after another one, and you're doing like and you have to do like a melody and also bring some harmonies, but just note by note. So I think it's what I kept from cello. But when I was 14, I started listening to all the music like Pink Floyd, the Beatles, and also all the 90s music, British music, all the electronic music from Underground Resistance, Laurent Garnier, the French Touch. So finally I stopped playing cello. I started playing guitar and started a rock band.
Okay.
And after, when I was 18 years old, I was born in Bordeaux, and I went to Paris to do a sound school because I wanted to learn how to produce music and to record music and to create music and everything. So, and be able to be. That's also what I love. I like to be like in control of everything. I'm a bit of a control freak, so I can do everything on my own. You know, so I can produce, mix, finish everything, be on my own and do my thing.
But most of the time you're playing with DJs.
Yes.
Not
yes.
with the band.
Yeah,
That
true.
doesn't make that very, very different, because DJs, they play with the decks.
Yeah.
And you're with the keys and the synthesizer.
Yes.
And it sounds very, very different.
Yeah, I think it's also because I love. Sometimes I'm playing in big festivals or like normal gigs, but also I'm playing a lot for electronic parties. Right. So I'm going to be in the middle of DJs before and DJs after. But I think it's really nice for the people when you're in a party and there is like a tunnel of DJs and music, and suddenly there is a live act, and somehow it brings a new energy to the party. And I think it's nice. You can't have that all night long, but for me it's nice to have suddenly, like in between DJs, a live act. So it's going to be a bit different, and the feeling and the power is going to bring a lot of energy to the party.
Yeah, it sounds like really metal.
Yeah.
Really metallic music, but with retro, like 70s, the 80s. It's very nice.
Oh,
it's very nice. I recommend it for everyone to follow Dombrance in his social media and listen to the music. It's very, very good. So let's go to now what you have with the politician and politics, because it's a good time today to talk about that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a good day, but I mean, it's like, what is your question?
Well, why you make music for the politicians? Because you already make some themes about our ex-president AMLO, and you made some of the different politicians, and you make that music for them. Why?
As I said, like, so the story about the project, it is a very stupid story. Like, it's not stupid, but sometimes the stupidest ideas are the best. Because I was like in my studio 7 years ago, and I was still touring with my band. It was the end of the tour, and I was really tired. I was in the studio, and I started to to record a new song. I was just having fun with my keyboards and everything, and suddenly I played one of my keyboard, and I could hear my keyboard say François Fillon, c'est François Fillon. You mean François Fillon? It's a very annoying French politics.
Okay.
And I hear that, and it makes me laugh. So I say, okay, so if I hear it, I should sing it. I sing it, and I made a short video for my friends. And I put it on Facebook.
Right.
But it was just for fun and just to make my friend laugh. And so my friends laugh, but I receive a lot of message from my friends from Germany or Mexico saying, oh, the track is really cool and everything. And they didn't know about François Fillon. I was like, oh, this is very strange. And the next day I had all the idea of creating music around just names of the politicians, and also created a visual world around it. And for me, it was a way of escaping for something very serious about electronic music, but also to create another world. My manifesto is about the music is the answer in this world. So that's what I think, and it was what I believe in. And I like the fact that the music is the main character of my work.
Okay.
And I think the people get, because I had fun, so the thing also was to become a bit as a politician on stage, but a crazy one, like a stupid one, like a one you're gonna party with, who's gonna go to after parties and go to see people and do music and anything. So it's like creating another world. Also, for me, it was very funny to go all around the world, and like today, on Friday, I'm going to play songs about French politician. That's the name of them in the track, but the people, they don't know him in there. So it's a very strange way of playing with things and having fun. Also, it was also really about the work I'm doing with Olivier Laude, which is the graphic designer of all the project.
Okay.
And it was to put all the characters and all the politicians in a crazy world, and trying to work on a funny way or how to put them in a crazy world and everything. And also it's a way for me to, I think I'm a bit against, in French we say piédestal. It's like to put someone
pedestal, yeah.
Yeah, above everything.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And I think it's also a way for me to work on this and to work on all the political things, and also with myself as a DJ.
Okay.
And also that's why I'm trying to say that I'm not so important. What is important is the music. That the music is always, the art is always bigger than the artist, because the artist is like everyone has got failure, right. and there is no perfectionism in an artist, but sometimes there is perfectionism in music, and there is miracles in music, okay. And I don't know. It's like that's a way for me to. It was a very strange way of being independent in my art also, and to do something that nobody's doing. And doing something like people are going to ask, but why do you do that? And I say, well, why not? And also the funny thing is, like in France, when I start my project, the people were in the parties, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're dancing, and you're suddenly like, but what do I hear? Because I just repeat one name
right.
forever,
Yeah.
So, and people, sometimes they don't realize, or they're like, do I? So it's, I don't know, it's just, for me, it's fun.
No, and it's funny because you show the videos,
Yeah.
the little characters and the videos, and people go like, what is this?
Yeah, it's a way of creating something a bit weird and crazy, and people, I think it participates of getting to people losing their mind. And that's, for me, that's my work. It's like, it's what I love to try to do is, when I'm happy when I finish a gig and the people came, because they didn't understand what happened somehow, right. And because it's like a total, the visuals, the character, the music, of course, it's the most important. But at the end, I like when people they be like, what happened?
So, and today you are happy because you already made one for Donald Trump.
I never played.
Just win the elections.
Honestly, to be honest, when I released this track, because I've done an EP for the last elections.
Yeah.
And I released the track the day of when Biden was president, and for me, I was like, okay, I never thought that Trump will be president again. And I'm like, this is craziness. It's like, I don't know, man.
You already made one for our ex-president AMLO.
Yeah.
Are you gonna make one for the new president,
No.
Claudia?
No, I'm done with with politicians. I'm working on my new album.
Okay.
And the new album is going to be about myself in a dystopic city called Mindfuck City.
Okay.
And it's a story there.
All right.
So I won't use any more politician names. It's over, but I keep the same character, but I'm working on new things for a fresh start.
Okay.
But I heard about her. I hope she's going to do well in Mexico.
So you have been coming to Mexico very often.
Yeah, but just to finish, it was also AMLO. I've done AMLO with Buffy, which is a Mexican artist.
Okay.
So it was also a way of we talk about. He came to France and we were walking in the street, and I was talking about my project. It was a few years ago, and he said, "Oh, let's do a track," and he talked about AMLO and everything. So I think it was a nice way also to do a track. It's not about AMLO. It's about also my love and my friendship with Mexico, you know, and also my love about Mexican artists as Buffy. I know many amazing Mexican producers.
All right.
And for me, since few years now, Mexico is one of the most important country for electronic music. So it's also a way for me to speak about it and say like there is amazing artists, because also it's an amazing country with a lot of story and a lot of things going on there. And also that's why I love to come here often, because it's great for me to play here, because there is so many places where I can play and the people and the mezcal and everything.
Yeah, you went to Oaxaca,
Monterrey, Acapulco with Tropico a few years ago. I've been in Tulum too.
Tulum?
Yeah, I discovered also Puerto Escondido, Mazuntes, Hippolyte.
Okay.
I've been in Jalapa also.
Okay.
I discovered Tapalpa lately. Yeah, it's like for me, it's like every time I come, I'm like, oh, you have to go there, or you're gonna go there, and I don't know, I love it.
Well, this weekend you're gonna be in a really, really nice place playing, and it's the House of Art.
Yeah, nice. General
It's very, very nice. It's very nice. It's gonna be very, really good. So, you like Mexican food?
I love Mexican food.
Yeah?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What is your best? What's your favorite?
You know what? I think now my favorite thing is seafood in Mexico. You know,
Tostadas.
Tostadas with pulpo or I don't know, like a chicken. All the way of, because there is a way of treating fish or seafood, anything, and I love it because it's very like a and. Well,
you're going to Los Cabos.
Yes, I know. I'm going to Los Cabos. Yeah.
Try the seafood there. It's
I'm gonna try it.
Really amazing.
Well, I mean, I love everything. I love tacos. I love mole. I love mezcal and tequila. And I always say that for me, Mexico, it's a bit like Italia and France.
Right.
It's because we are spending when we are having dinner. Right. We always speak about food.
Okay.
You see what I mean? We're obsessed about food. Like in France, we're going to have a big we go to the restaurant and we're going to speak about food during all the, we're obsessed about food. And for me, in Mexico, it's the same thing. And there's so many amazing restaurants in Mexico City right now. It's like every time I discover a new place, and I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, Mexico is pretty different from France, because most of the food in France is like typical in everywhere. I mean, you go to one restaurant, you're asking for the same. Here in Mexico, you have everywhere you go have different food from everywhere, and also Mexican food.
Yeah.
So it's fun to go around here.
Yeah, I mean, there is an example of, for me, like I was speaking about seafood or fish or anything, but I love Japanese restaurant in Mexico City. There is because I feel like the Mexican food and the Japanese food is the mix of both.
Right.
It's working very well.
Yeah.
and wow, it's great.
So this weekend you playing with another artist. Is like a collaboration or they playing individual?
You mean on Friday night?
Yeah.
No, it's other DJs. I know Isaac Ferry because he's got a label called Disco.
Right.
And I'm working with Isaac and Disco since years now.
Right.
So he's good. He's a good friend, and I'm gonna meet the other DJs.
Okay. What musical influence would you say that has shaped you as a musician?
Oh, I was talking about Jean-Sébastien Bach.
Okay.
So for me, it's like one of the main. Pink Floyd was one of the main also band I loved when I was a teenager, and I still listen to it. And also after, I don't know, because I'm so passionate about music.
Right.
So for me, it's very hard to pick one band or one style, because for me, it's like you need to understand everything about the. I mean, not need, but I love to be aware of and understand how everything is work, and how like classical music, jazz music, soul music, funk, rock music, blues, reggae music, house music, techno, and everything. So it's just everything is connected.
Right.
And I could talk about it during hours, because I'm passionate about. Also, when you're passionate about music, it's also about production, you know. So how you make music, and how the fact that suddenly you go to 4 tracks tape to 24, or you're gonna put a delay on reverb there, and I mean, it's a very complex thing, and everything is interesting for me. So it's really hard for me to pick up things. And for my work, for me, it's a bit like, as you said, it's a mix of 70s, 80s
Right.
things. There is a touch for me of French touch,
Right.
because I guess this is where I'm coming from somehow. So you have Jean-Michel Jarre, Daft Punk, Air, Phoenix, and all the French music, or Gainsbourg also. Also, I love everything about disco and dark disco also, and because it's the beat I love the most.
Right.
And I like it when it's sexy, not too, but more, you know, like. But it's more about what I like to hear, to dance. So it's also a lot about when I play, making people dance and make myself dance. Okay. So it's what I love.
Do you understand anything about the Spanish music?
And I understand. It's not, maybe it's not exactly, it's not the music but
you play, or
no, I don't.
listen?
But I know it. I know it. It's like I had a friend who was a big, huge salsa. It was the bassist of one of the band I used to play with, and we tried to do some salsa and all the rhythm things and everything. But it's like, for me, it's you have to learn, even if you don't listen to it every day. But you have to understand and learn, like da 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 da. This is the basic thing. So you have to understand where, with the rhythm like that, the bass is going to be there and everything. It's like, for example, I love Afrobeat. I love Afrobeat because I used to, when I first start as in the sound, I was working in a small studio where I had the chance to spend time with Femi Kuti, which is the Fela son, and I discovered Afrobeat, and it's the same. It's like, it's a very like complex music with the drummer is going to be tu-tu-ta-ta, tu-tu-ta-ta. You have the percussion, the guitarist, ta-da-da-da. So I don't know. I think for me everything is interesting. Sometimes I'm going to listen more to this or that, but I always try to be open and try to understand what's going on.
You play many instruments or just the keys?
No, I play bass, guitar,
guitar.
And keys.
And keys.
I would say my main instrument is more guitar.
Memorable moment in your musician life?
There is one festival called Le Ye Festival. You can see it there. Yeah. It's a festival organized by friends and by Arthur, Nico, and Laurent Garnier, and it's a very special festival because I went there for the first time with my band, and I loved the festival. It's a very small festival. It's like 1,000 people in the south of France, and it was very emotional for me when I came back there because when I started doing my tracks, because I don't know, somehow when I started doing my project, I was thinking about the festival and the people. And sometimes sometimes the people say, oh, you have to do things for you, but I'm not like that. It's like I can project myself making the music and say, oh, I see myself playing with all the people around me, right. And the people who as a festival, not as a musician, but as a dancer, or the people who were the ambience I love. And it was very emotional when I came back to the festival and played for the first time there with all the people there, and it was magical because for me it was like I don't know, it was like suddenly it was I don't know, it was unbelievable.
That's your most memorable night?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. How often you play with the band?
I don't play with band anymore. I used to work with like for my last band. I used to work with a band, and it was an amazing band. I used to work with a guy called David Shaw, and we were used to do everything together. And he's one of the most talented guy I ever met. And sometimes I miss doing music with him because it was really interesting. But I don't miss all the struggle of having a band is today. It's really hard, and I think it's when you're young it's okay, but I'm getting older now, and honestly, to be free and be on my own, it's for many reasons it's easier. Right. So it's like that. I'm alone now on stage. I miss also because I miss creating music with David, and it's fun also when you're on stage with other musicians because right. I love also this part of the music where you can share and improvise and have this connection which is magical.
What kind of music you listen when you're not working?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm listening a lot of very cool music. Okay. There is a guy I love called Dop Lemon, for example. Chill music, very like cool songs and cool music and everything. Because I think when I'm going out or when I play, it's enough for me to get what's going on for a lot of things, and I like it. But when I'm home, it's more like relax.
What do you think about the French scene?
There is like many bands who are doing well, and it's good for French music. Okay. It's also because I don't know. There is like, I think there still is a French touch, and it's good.
All right.
Yeah.
What inspired you to make music?
I think it's interesting because for the next album, it's going to be an album about the society around us, and also I have a strong feeling of that we're living all in the same. We are all in the same boat, you know, somehow, okay. And so it's going to be an album about this, and also I'm going to do more featurings. Right. So I'm going to invite. There is a Japanese singer, Mexican singer, French singer. Okay. So because it's going to be like the story is in this dystopic city where everybody is there. And I don't know. It's very so. For me, it's like every day, and what's going on in the world is my inspiration.
Okay. So for you, what's the dance floor memorable?
Oh, I know one. Honestly, it was in Tropico, the festival in Acapulco. Right. And the first time I went there with my band, it was in 2017. And it was they have a scene on the beach, right? And it was the sun was going up, you know, the sunrise, and there was this DJ called Rub and Tug. It's a duet, two DJs together, and they done a DJ set, and it was the best set for me ever. Also, it was because sometimes you feel like there is like an amazing moment in the, but it's a coordination of lot of things. We were like so happy to be in this amazing festival, and we met so many friends. And I was like with 20 people I never met before, and we were having the best time of life. And suddenly all the tracks they play were magical, and I was wow. I was surprised for everything was a surprise, and it was a magical moment, like far from all the worry and everything, and it was magical.
And you prefer the people, because now you go to the festivals and everybody is filming with a microphone, and it's not dancing. You prefer the people dancing, or you prefer the people?
Of course, I prefer the people dancing, but I'm kind of, I don't know. It's like my work is to make the people not, even if they put their phone out, most of the time they do it, and after they put it back. You know, I saw some video where there is just people with phone and don't dance. That's terrible. But I never leave that. But I have to say that I play when I play in Germany, for example, in Berlin. Right. You can't have the phone in the clubs, and it's magical. So I have to admit that without, it's better.
Without is better.
Yeah. Okay. But it's my responsibility is to make the people dance and to make something like you have to create something that the people they lose their mind, so they have to lose also their phone, or if they want to have some few minutes of it, you know, it's like that. But I never for the moment I never felt like very strange about it so much. It's okay.
Are you coming back to Mexico this year?
Yes, I'm planning to come back with my family first, and but I know that I'm next year for sure. I don't know when yet, but of course I'll be back.
What do you think about the social media today?
I think you need to be in control of it and just have fun, you know.
Right.
And it has to be natural, and you have to make choices. For example, I quit Twitter 3 years ago, right? Because I don't like it, right. And I decided that I won't use it. Right. I only really use Instagram and a bit Facebook, and TikTok I don't understand, so I don't use it.
YouTube?
And YouTube a bit, yes, a bit, yeah. But for me, it's not social media really. Okay. And Instagram, it's a way for me to have fun, you know, to share some stories of stupid things I can do, and also to promote the thing I'm gonna do, and that's also the thing that to work with Olivier Laude, the graphic designer, right. Is to have fun to show flyers for every time I'm gonna do like a tour, or I don't know if you saw the flyer for the Mexican tour this year.
Yes.
We're having fun to do it because I know that Mexican people they like to have fun with it also, okay. And I love to put my character in many situations, you know, and having fun with it, you know. Okay. So it's also for me it has to be art. You still to stay in the art form or fun, art or fun. That's working. I'm not going to spend my time explaining life and say, hey, this is Dombrance. Like in TikTok, I can see that the people do that. It's not my thing.
Okay. Would you say something to the Mexican people in your language, in French?
Je vous aime, tout simplement.
Santé.
Santé.